So today is our first day um, to learn meditation in English, and so we will meet regularly every month, second and fourth Saturday, and I want to not teach English. Sorry. Feels like I'm teaching English. Teach meditation in a kind of systematic way, so you can learn how to meditate, um, and also get the benefits of meditation. First, I want to explain four things. First is the why should we meditate? Second is what is meditation? These are four questions I want to answer today. And the third question is how to meditate. And then the fourth question is what are the benefits of meditation? So what are the four questions? First is why should we meditate? Why should we meditate? Second question is what is meditation? Third question, how to meditate? How do you meditate? And then fourth question is what are the benefits? When we meditate, what kind of benefits are there? So each of us, we all want to be happy. We want to live a happy life. We all want to live a meaningful life, isn't it? Is there anyone here that doesn't want to live a happy and meaningful, healthy life? Everybody wants to. Everybody wants that, and that is not something you have to learn. It's something very, very innate, very natural. Not only human beings, but all living beings, animals also, they want to be happy. They want to be comfortable. They don't want to be hungry. I don't want to be hungry. I'm usually never hungry. I'm usually always hungry. I'm never too hungry, because when I get hungry, I eat a lot, and so I'm never hungry for long. But animals, as well as human beings, as well as all living beings, including insects, they all want to be happy, and they and don't want to suffer. Even this mosquito, and we still have mosquitoes in November. And by the way, I hate mosquitoes. As a monk and as a Buddhist practitioners, we're supposed to love all beings equally, except mosquitoes. Yeah. Yes, mosquitoes are the exception, and cockroaches, and the jine, the centipedes, millipedes, these kind of, yes, yes, they can just, yeah, perish. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm kidding. Of course, as a Buddhist monk and also as a Buddhist practitioners, we don't harm any beings, including insects, because they don't want to be killed. They don't want to suffer. They don't like pain. They want to be comfortable. Every living being wants to be comfortable. They don't want to be hungry. They don't want to be cold. They don't want to suffer. And we're the same. And every living being also has the right to be happy and not suffer. So 모든 중생은, 살아있는 모든 존재는 이제 고통을 원하지 않고 행복을 원해요. 그리고 인간뿐만 아니라 동물들도 곤충들도 그래요. 이제 인간은 의미 있고 또한 행복한 삶을 원해요. 근데 그런 권리가 있고요. So everybody has the right to be happy and comfortable, and so it's like our happiness is kind of like our right and heritage. And however, uh, most people, are they happy or not happy? What do you think? Not happy. That's right. Uh, but who are the happiest people in the world? Who do you think? Maybe, huh? Children. Sure, children. Okay, that's right. Children are happy. That's a very good answer. 5 points. Yeah, okay. We go on a point system here, and yeah, and if you get the okay, 4 points. Dalai Lama, right? 4 points. Anyway, so most people are not happy. Yeah. Yet happiness is all we want is happiness. All anybody wants is happiness. Yet it's something uh, elusive, something quite difficult to get for most people. And so most people they look for happiness in all the wrong places, in all the wrong ways. How do people seek happiness generally? How do most people look for happiness? Yeah, money or vacation or in pleasure, in also in 연애, like dating or trying to find a soulmate or getting married and maybe food, this kind of thing, right? So, and there is some happiness in all of these things, right? When you date, when you start dating someone, you're very happy for some time, and then when you're eating delicious food, you're also happy. And then if you get some money, for example, if I gave you how much? How much? 얼마면 돼? 만 원? 와, 여기 10만 원. 여기 싸네. 오케이. 나중에 드릴게요. So anyway, if I give you let's say $1,000, 100만 원, you'll be very happy, right? So there's some happiness in all of these things. Pleasure also brings happiness. Sensual pleasures like taste, sights, and all these also bring some kind of happiness. But this kind of happiness we call temporary happiness. Temporary happiness. We don't say this is not the genuine happiness. And everybody is looking for the genuine happiness, the lasting happiness, kind of the you could say fulfillment. You could say fulfillment. Yeah. 모든 사람은 이제 이런 연애, 돈, 뭐 명예, 뭐 쾌감 이런 데에서 이제 행복을 찾을 수 있어요. 근데 이것은 일시적인 행복이라고 해요. 그래서 근데 우리가 모든 사람이 원하는 것은 진정한 행복, 진정한 행복, 오래가는 행복, 어떻게 보면 충만함 이런 것을 다르게 말하자면 사랑을 찾고 있어요. 참된 사랑, 이런 끈적끈적한 그런 연애 사랑 말고 이렇게 충만함. So what everyone is looking for actually is love. And we feel like we can find love in the relationships or maybe, but the real love, the true love that we're looking for cannot be found in relationships. It's not the kind of, sticky love which is found in relationships. True love is what we were looking for actually, and we can say we use the word love, but this is actually like fulfillment or meaning or happiness, yeah. And we just call it this. We use this word love. And in Buddhism, this is this is also what we're looking for. And this kind of love is we call unconditional love, also infinite love. And this love is who we are, actually. So what we're looking for is looking for ourselves. So the love we're looking for in Buddhism is actually who we are, is our essence. Our essence is love, and that. So we're actually looking for ourselves, and but we're looking for love in the wrong places and in wrong ways. So and we've tried all our life, and everybody tries all their lives to find this happiness, fulfillment, love, and rarely is it found. Rarely is it found. Um, I mean, of course, you know, when we have in our relationships, we can find some kind of meaning and fulfillment. It doesn't mean that relationships don't bring fulfillment necessarily. But what is the case normally in our relationships? For example, our relationships with our parents, our relationship with our friends, our relationship with our family. Usually, you know, I mean, do we find the fulfillment within these relationships? We can. It's possible. 그러니까 우리가 원하는 이 충만함, 이 사랑, 부모와의 관계, 식구와 관계, 친구와 관계에서 찾을 수 있어요. 근데 보통 찾습니까? 야, 아니 이제 그러니까 이렇게 이렇게 그 관계에서 갖는 느낌은 있는데 이렇게 일시적으로 어떤 그런 사랑을 느끼는데 대체적으로 이렇게 찾기는 어렵죠. So it's quite difficult usually. It's quite difficult usually to find the fulfillment we are looking for within our relationships. Our relationships are usually have some benefit or helpful in some way, and also causes some harm. And that is the nature of relationships. You know, if we look at our relationship with parents, helpful in some ways, and also some we feel our parents' love, and we're grateful for that, and we want our parents to be happy, and we share love in that sense. But there's also a lot of kind of, how do you say, bad habits that we get from, that we learn, that we pick up from our parents, and also the parents cause the children some harm through their attachment and through their desire for their children. In a lot of instances, it causes harm to the children. Yeah. So because most parents our parents are well intended, but they're not very wise, our parents. So they didn't do it on purpose. They're well intended. Their love is for sure there. Most parents love their children, and you know, more than the world usually. But the words and actions they don't properly reflect that kind of love that they have. 부모님들은 정말 아이들을 아마 무한하게 사랑합니다. 하지만 이제 지혜롭지 못해요. 그래서 그들의 행동과 말은 그 사랑을 뭐랄까 제대로 표현을 못해요. 그래서 그게 문제거든요. 사랑이 문제가 아니죠. 부모의 사랑은 문제가 아니죠. 근데 사랑의 표현이 문제라는 거예요. So the parents, they don't lack the love. Love is not the problem. But the way they express the love, that's the problem. So, and because of this kind of relationship, you know, with our parents, we don't find that kind of fulfillment also. And also as children, we don't have the capacity to understand our parents, fully, or understand each other, and there's lots of miscommunication within relationships with our parents, with our family, and with our friends. 그러니까 우리는 부모를 온전히 이해할 수 있는 그런 우리도 지혜가 부족한 거예요. 또한 소통도 잘 되지 않고 이렇게 서로 간의 소통, 부모와의 소통, 또한 가족, 식구와 소통, 친구와 소통이 잘 되지 않는 거예요. 그리고 오해가 많고 그런 이제 마음의 힘이 이제 없는 거예요. 우리가 지혜가 없는 거예요. So what is meditation? Meditation helps us become wise. We become wisdom is the how do you say core of Buddhism is how to become more wiser. And so 내가 영어 잘하네. 영어 너무 오래 못해가지고 영어 이제 네, 잘난 체했습니다. 아무튼 so yeah, so the core of Buddhism is wisdom. Yeah, and Buddhism or meditation helps us gain wisdom so that we can understand each other and we can understand our parents and we can forgive them and we can love them properly and express our love properly for parents, children, family as well as friends and for all beings. 그래서 불교는 지혜를 갖추게 하는 것이 불교라고 할 수 있어요. 사람을 더 지혜롭게 한다는 거예요. 이제 그 지혜롭게 더 지혜로워서 이제 우리 부모를 이해를 할 수 있고 또 소통을 잘 할 수 있는 거죠. 그리고 이제 오해가 줄어드는 거죠. 오해가 줄어들어서 이제 뭐랄까 관계에서 우리가 원하는 그런 사랑 또한 충만함 이렇게 찾을 수가 있게 되는 거예요. So when we become more wise, then we can find the love that we are always looking for within relationships, within our relationship with our parents, within the relationship with our family, with our lovers, with our partners, with our friends. And we discover in the end that this love that we are looking for is actually within us. And of course, so the way to love in Buddhism, we say is twofold. Wisdom and compassion. So wisdom and love, you could say. And wisdom means, another way to say it is awareness, the wisdom of awareness or mindfulness, you could say. 그래서 우리가 원하는 이 사랑은 찾는 길은 두 가지예요. 자비와 지혜. 그 지혜는 또 다르게 말하자면 알아차림이라고 할 수 있어요. 그래서 So through being aware, becoming more awake, being aware means that we know what's going on in our minds. We know what's happening in our minds. 알아차림이라고 하면 우리의 마음에서 뭐가 일어나고 있는지 아는 것을 의미합니다. So the problem is we don't know what's going on in our minds. Our minds are closer than our eyelashes, but yet we don't ever pay attention to our mind. We don't know what we're thinking. We're lost in our thoughts all the time, but we don't know what we're thinking. We cannot see our thoughts because we're lost in the thoughts. You see the difference between being lost in the thoughts and then seeing our thoughts. These are two different things. One is like being lost in the, let's say, in the river. If you're lost in the, or if you get caught up in the river, if you fall into the river and then you get caught up in the river, you cannot see the river, right? But if you're outside of the river, you can see the river, the flowing of the river, right? There's the difference. So same with our minds. Normally we are caught within our thoughts. We're in the stream of thought thinking, and we're lost in the stream of thought. And then we don't know what we're thinking. But if we are outside of our thoughts, then we can see our thoughts. We can see the stream of thinking. So that is what is meant by awareness or meditation. 예, 그래서 우리는 이제 명상이라고 하면 마음에서 뭐가 일어나고 있는지 아는 것을 의미합니다. 근데 보통은 우리가 마음에서 뭐가 일어나고 있는지 모르는 거예요. 그냥 뭔 생각하고 있는지, 항상 생각에 빠져 있지만 뭔 생각하고 있는지 모른다는 거예요. 그 생각을 보는 것과 생각에 빠져 있는 것과 완전 다르거든요. 그래서 강에 빠져 있으면 강이 안 보이는 것처럼, 강 밖에 있으면 강이 보이는 것처럼, 그래서 강 밖에 있어야지 강이 보이는 거잖아요. 그래서 마찬가지로 이제 우리는 생각과 분리되어 있어야지 생각이 보이는 거예요. 그게 생각과 분리되어 있는 것, 생각을 객관적으로 보는 게 이제 알아차림이에요, 명상. So meditation is to see things to see your mind objectively, or objectively, to see your thoughts objectively, to see your thoughts. Normally we are just lost in our thoughts, so we are the thought, kind of, or we are the subject of our thought. Yeah. So that's the problem. That's the source of all our problems, is that we are with our thoughts, or we don't see them objectively. It's just like we follow our thoughts. We're lost in our thoughts. That's the problem. That's the problem. Is that, and I mean, if these thoughts that arise habitually, so there's first we have to kind of understand thoughts. There's the thinking that we have to do in order to learn something, like a language or Buddhism, or making plans. And then there is the thoughts that arise habitually. Yeah. So there's you understand the difference, right? 그러니까 두 가지 이제 종류의 생각이 있다고 볼 수 있어요. 하나는 계획할 때, 공부할 때, 뭐 명상을 배울 때, 언어를 배울 때 이제 해야 되는 생각이 있잖아요. 뭐 이렇게 그런 생각. 그 다음에 이제 저절로 일어나는 습관적인 생각. 이 두 가지 종류의 생각이 있어요. So this the thoughts that arise habitually or automatically, you could say, thoughts. I mean, it's not like you intentionally. It's not like you're thinking intentionally. There's thinking intentionally, and then there's the thoughts that arise just on its own, on our minds. That's called the habitual mind, or we say conditioned mind. Conditioned mind. And this mind is what is our karma. And so this conditioned mind, following our conditioned mind, is the source of all our problems. 그래서 이 습관적인 마음이라고 해요. 습관적인 마음이 바로 그 업을 의미하거든요. 그래서 이 습관적인 마음이 습관적인 마음과 함께해서 이제 모든 고통과 모든 괴로움이 있는 거예요. 그래서 so the habitual mind, the habitually rising thoughts, and we don't know how to deal with them. All we do is we deal with everything by thinking, by more thinking. For example, we have some unwanted thoughts. Oh, by the way, these thoughts that arise habitually, are they normally very positive and very joyful, very compassionate? very wise. Are they like that? 저절로 일어나는 습관적인 생각들이 자비롭고 친절하고 지혜롭고 유익하고 그런 생각들이 긍정적이고 그런 생각들이 일어나세요 주로? Never. Never는 아니에요. Never는 아니지만 and it's not like you never have positive thoughts or you never have compassionate thoughts, but the negative thoughts outweigh the compassionate thoughts or the positive thoughts, and the selfish thoughts are far greater than the altruistic thoughts or compassionate thoughts. Why is that? Because the habitual mind is focused on the self, me. So everything is about me. Everything's about me. Everything is like, how do I be happy? How it's a obsession with me, yeah. And so all our thoughts are centered around, centered around this attachment to the self and to the me, and also, everything is about me or my, So that's why these thoughts are so destructive. Is because it's all about just one person. 그래서 저절로 일어나는 생각들이 왜 이렇게 부정적이고 왜 이렇게 해롭냐면 자기에 대한 생각만 하기 때문이에요. 예. 내가 중심이기 때문에 나와 나의 중심이기 때문에 이제 그냥 한 사람만 계속 생각하는 거예요. 우리가 그런 이제 강박이 있는 거예요. 자기에 대한 강박이 있는 거예요. So in Buddhism we say the source of all suffering comes from not knowing reality and thus being attached to the self. Not knowing the truth, not knowing the reality or nature of reality and being attached to the self. 그러니까 불교에서는 모든 이제 고통의 원인은 실상을 모르기 때문에 이렇게 내가 누구인지 모르고 이렇게 실상을 진리를 모르기 때문에 그거는 이제 불교에서는 무명이라고 하죠. 무명으로 인하여 이제 자기를 집착하는 거예요. 여기서 모든 고통이 비롯된다고 합니다. So not knowing reality in Buddhism we call this ignorance. Ignorance. In Tibetan we say marikpa, or and that means not knowing who I am, not knowing what is life. Do you know who you are? Do you know? You don't know? ID 한번 확인해 보세요. Yeah, check your ID if you don't know. Yeah, we have some problems if you don't know who you are. Then we have to take you to the mental hospital. 자기가 누군지 모르세요? So you think you know. You think you know who you are. You think I am Yongsoo or I am Clarice or whatever. But that's not who you really are. I mean, yeah, that's the problem. Is you don't know who you really are. You have a misunderstanding of who you are, and you're not really you're not really sure. Even you have kind of a vague understanding of who you are. Like you think, you're this body. You think you're this. You think you are your name. For example, if I say Esther, then you think, oh, he's calling me, right? Like that. So but Esther, is that really Esther? Is that you? What is Esther? Esther is just a name, isn't it? 저기 있대, 저기. It's just a name, right? It's just a name. Clarice is just a name, right? It's not, there's no, but you think that's you. And then you think also this body is you. But this body is just, it will die one day. Does that mean you will die? Does that mean that you will not exist after this body dies? Do you think that? What do you think? Yeah, no, you continue. So the body is not you. 그러니까 이제 내가 이렇게 이름을 부르면 그 현정인가? 정현. 내가 정현아 이렇게 이름 부르면 그 내가 얘 이렇게 자기라고 생각하잖아요. 그 이렇게 자기 이름 정현 이렇게. 근데 그 정현은 뭐예요? 그냥 이름이잖아요. 이름. 한국 이름. 그리고 이 몸도 자기라고 생각하는 거예요. 근데 몸은 죽잖아요. 몸이 죽으면 우리도 그러면 끝났어요? 더 이상 존재하지 않을까요? 그렇게 생각하는 사람들도 꽤 있죠. 근데 우리 존재는 끝나지 않아요. 죽을 때. 그러니까 이 몸도 자기가 아니라는 거예요. 참된 자신은 아니라고요. You may think maybe yeah, no, if this body dies, you no longer exist. But maybe you'll be surprised to know you still exist. In Buddhism, of course, because we have this mind, this consciousness, this consciousness cannot be destroyed. So you cannot be destroyed. This consciousness, why it cannot be destroyed? Because it was never created. Something that's never created, was not created, cannot be destroyed. Something that doesn't have a beginning cannot have an end. So our consciousness, we say, cannot be destroyed. So you cannot be destroyed. You are endless. You are eternal in some sense, you know. So this body is not you. 이제 우리 불교에서는 우리의 그 의식, 우리는 마음이 있잖아요. 그래서 마음, 티베트 말로 하면 샘젠은 중생이라는 말인데 마음이 있는 존재이라는 말입니다. 샘젠. 그래서 마음이 있는 존재잖아요, 우리는. 그렇기 때문에 마음은 파괴할 수 없어요. 마음은 끝이 없어요. 시작이 없기 때문에. 또 누가 만들지 않았기 때문에. 누가 만들지 않는 것은 이제 끝날 수도 없어요. 그래서 this mind doesn't have a beginning and doesn't have an end. So we are like that. That's who we truly are. But we don't know that. That's the problem. Is we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. In Buddhism, we say, "You are Buddha." You are Buddha. So what does that mean? Buddha. What that means is that you have golden skin, and then you have this black hair, and get this thing on top, and then you have to sit. You have to, sit like this all day long. Yeah, and you have to have a kind of half smile. No, that's not really Buddha. This is not really Buddha. This is not just a statue. Just how do you say? Just a tanka. So this is not Buddha. The Buddha we're talking about is our mind, who we are, who we truly are, is Buddha. Or you could say Buddha is also just a name. But what is the Buddha? Buddha is Buddha is, well, first of all, let's talk about some characteristics of the Buddha, like Shakyamuni or Kwanseambosar, Avalokiteshvara, or Dara. What are some of their characteristics? Like, how was the Buddha? Was he nice guy or not so nice guy, or was he a nice guy? Very nice guy. The nicest guy in the world. He was the nicest guy. He was voted nicest guy in the world 2,500 years ago on an internet poll. No, he was very nice. He was the most compassionate. Like Jesus, Jesus, was he a nice guy? Yeah, I think so. 그러니까 이제 우리가 누구예요? 우리는 부처님이에요. 부다예요, 부다. 부다는 뭐예요? 부다의 그럼 여기 있는 뭐 탱화나 이런 불상은 그 부다가 아니죠. 부처님이 아니죠. 부처님, 우리가 부처님이라는 거예요. 우리가 부다라는 거예요. 우리 자체가, 우리의 참된 자체가. 근데 부다라는 그런 부처님, 여기 계시는 부처님, 관세음보살, 달라마 존자님, 이런 분들의 그 성품을 좀 말해보세요. So what are some of the characteristics of Buddha, of let's say Avalokiteshvara or His Holiness Dalai Lama or these great beings? What are some of their characteristics? We said nice, right? Nice, very nice. Infinitely compassionate. Infinitely compassionate. So what does that mean? Who is infinitely compassionate? You. You are infinitely compassionate because you're Buddha. You hope so. Me too, I hope so. Please let it be so. I'm taking my chances. So we are you are infinitely compassionate. 그러니까 부처님은 무한하게 자비롭잖아요. 그럼 누가 무한하게 자비로워요? You, 당신, 언진, 여기 좀 안나님. You are infinitely compassionate. You. Do you believe that? Do you think that? Do you go around saying, I'm infinitely compassionate? Do you wake up in the morning, I'm infinitely compassionate? You look in the mirror and you say, wow, you are infinitely compassionate. What do you normally say? Oh, you are so selfish. I mean, relatively, we are very selfish. But there's two things: relatively, or habitually, and also by nature, we are compassionate. By nature, we are infinitely compassionate. 그러니까 본성적으로 우리는 무한하게 자비로운 거예요. 근데 습관적으로 못 됐어요, 조금. That's the problem. Is that the negative aspects of ourselves, that is not who we really are. 그 안 좋은 우리의 모든 면은 우리가 아니에요. 그거는 버릴 수 없는 습관뿐이에요. So these are just habits we can get rid of. We can, be free of just all our bad habits, which is our karma. We can become free of. We can purify our karma. We can purify all these negativity, but we cannot purify the compassion. That's infinite. 그러니까 안 좋은 면은 정화할 수 있지만 본질적으로 자비로운 것은 그거는 정화할 수 없어요. 본질이기 때문에. For example, this is a cotton, right? So if I spill some 된장찌개. So if, let's say I spill some like coffee here, then I could actually get rid of the coffee, right? Because it's not part of the 본질. How do you say? I mean, this is the material itself is cotton, right? It's pure. So whatever you spill on here, you can get rid of because it's not part of the material, right? But you cannot get rid of the material because that's what this is made of. So likewise, we can get rid of all our negativity, but we cannot get rid of our love, our wisdom, our compassion, our peace. Cannot get rid of that. Cannot make it weak. Cannot, you cannot get rid of that. 우리의 모든 안 좋은 면은 못된 면, 이기심, 이런 건 다 버릴 수 있어요. 근데 좋은 면 있잖아요. 자비, 사랑, 지혜. 이거는 버릴 수 없어요. 이거는 닦을 수 없어요. 이거는 정화할 수 없어요. 우리의 본질이기 때문에, 우리의 본성이기 때문에. So that's who we really are. We are infinitely compassionate Buddha. So now you know. So now you can tell others. But actually, we're not the only one. Everyone's like that. Even the mosquitoes, even the animals, they are by nature infinitely compassionate. But relatively or temporarily or habitually, we have bad habits, problems, and we also have how do you say, negative tendencies. What else? We are infinitely compassionate, infinitely wise. We have infinite potential. We can be anything, do anything, this kind of infinite potential. And so these three things is who we really are. We say three infinite things: infinite compassion, infinite wisdom, and infinite strength, or we say potential, or we say ability, infinite ability. These three things: infinite wisdom, infinite compassion, and infinite ability. So 우리의 참 본성은 세 가지 무한한 게 있어요. 자비, 지혜, 그리고 힘, 이렇게 세 가지. So meditation is about kind of unleashing this infinite potential, unleashing the infinite potential. And how do we do that? By becoming aware of all the limitations. That's like our attachment, our anger, our jealousy, our sadness, our self-hatred, all our hang-ups, all our neurosis, all our anxiety, our fears, and all of these things. It is through these things we recognize our infinite potential. 그럼 이 무한한 힘과 자비와 지혜를 드러나게 하는 것이 명상이라고 할 수 있어요. 근데 그 드러나게 하는 방법이 뭘까요? 우리의 한계, 우리의 제한을 만드는 모든 이런 마음의 작동을 알아보는 거예요. 우리의 슬픔, 우리의 불안, 두려움, 집착, 자기 혐오, 뭐랄까, 슬픔, 이런 것을 통하여 이런 이제 자기의 모든 에고의 작동을 알아봄으로써 알아본다는 것은 알아차린다는 거예요. 근데 알아차리는 것과 버리는 것과 같은 것을 의미하는 거예요. 이렇게 내려놓는 것과 알아차리는 것과 같은 것을 의미하는 거예요. 왜냐하면 알아차림이 있으면 그것으로부터 그것과 이렇게 분리가 되기 때문에 이제 그것으로부터 자유로워지는 거예요. 슬픔으로부터, 불안으로부터. So, what does it mean to be aware, become aware of all of our, neurosis, all of our hang-ups, all of our self-loathing, all of our attachment, all of our anger, all of our hatred? Becoming aware means becoming free, because with awareness, there is a sense of space between you and the negative emotions. That is the quality of awareness. Awareness creates space. It creates the kind of space and spaciousness. And so whatever you are aware of, there is space, like for example, let's say you're sad. When you're lost in your sadness, there's no space. You are the sadness. You are the sadness. But when you are aware of the sadness, you and the sadness are separated, and there is space within the sadness. I mean, around the sadness, you could say. And the sadness actually, has no kind of power. You could feel the sadness, but it has no power to capture you, or it has no power, because the awareness brings this kind of freedom. Awareness brings freedom, from the whatever you're aware of, but you're still aware of it. It's not like you don't feel the sadness. Meditation is to feel the sadness but not be sad. Yeah. So meditation is to feel the anger but not be angry. Meditation is to feel anxiety but not be anxious. So that means the there is the feeling of anxiousness, but at the same time there is a feeling of freedom, a feeling of space, spaciousness. That's the quality of awareness. It brings you that spaciousness and also this freedom and also this kind of peace. 그러니까 알아차림은 슬픔을 느끼면서 슬프지 않는 거, 불안을 느끼면서 불안하지 않는 거, 분노를 느끼면서 분노를 알아차리면서 화가 나지 않는 거. 알아차림이 있으면 바로 그런 이제 자유와 평화가 있는 거예요. 슬퍼도 괜찮은 거예요. 불안해도 괜찮은 거예요. But yes, there's always a disclaimer, isn't there? Yeah. But yeah, our ability to be aware, or the power of awareness, is very weak. So very easy now to be carried away, and we don't have much experience of meditation, so we don't know how to properly kind of be with sadness or welcome sadness, we say, and not be sad. We're always used to being sad. We're professional. We're very good at being sad, but we don't know how to be with sadness without being sad. 이제 하지만 문제는 뭐냐? 우리의 알아차림 힘이 약한 거예요. 그래서 우리는 슬퍼하는 것은 더 잘해요. 슬픔에 빠지는 것은 너무 잘해요. 아니면 슬픔을 외면하는 것은 또 너무 잘해요. 슬픔으로 도망가는 거, 슬픔을 싫어하는 것도 잘해요. 근데 슬픔과 화목하게 함께 하는 것은 안 익숙한 거예요. 그건 할 줄 모르는 거예요, 우리는. 그런 것을 이제 그것을 배워야 되는 거죠. So we're also very good at running away from sadness. There's these two kind of habitual responses. One is we indulge sadness, or we hate sadness. There's two kinds of, we call it extreme responses. So whatever unwanted emotion we may have, it could be sadness or it could be anxiety. Let's say anxiety. We either feel really anxious and get indulge anxiety, or get carried away by anxiety, or we try to block anxiety, or we try to not feel anxiety. We don't want the anxiety. So these two are extreme responses to the unwanted emotions and feelings. 원치 않는 감정이나 느낌에 대한 두 가지 습관적인 그런 반응이 있어요. 그게 이제 하나는 빠지는 거. 슬프면 이제 슬픔이 빠지는 거예요. 슬퍼. 나는 아무도 안 좋아해. 다 법상 스님을 좋아해. 법상 스님 법문하면 100명이 오는데 여기는 10명밖에 안 와. 이렇게 하여튼 그러니까 이렇게 슬픔에 빠지는 거예요, 하나는. 그리고 하나는 이제 슬픔을 싫어하는 거예요. 또 슬픔, 느낌을 싫어하고 막 안 돼. 이렇게 막 산책하고 이렇게 어쨌든 그것도 도움이 될 수 있지만 일시적으로 이제 근데 그 문제는 해결되지 않아요. 그렇게 이제 두 가지 어떤 원치 않는 감정이든 느낌이든 똑같이 이렇게 습관적으로 그거는 극단적인 반응이라고 해요. So I mean, we're really good at running away. We've been running away all our life. We run away from our problems. We run away from our unwanted emotions, and then we're like professional runaways. We've been avoiding everything all our lives. Everything is like, even so. What do we do? We stay busy, or we get a hobby, or we even learn meditation. We come to meditation class, or we maybe go to see a movie, or where we go on vacation, or we eat, and so these kind of things help temporarily, but it doesn't address the issue. It doesn't get to the underlying problems, and doesn't solve the problems at all. What it does is it puts our problems kind of on hold in our kind of like or latency. Yeah, it becomes latent. Yeah, it becomes latent. Yeah, so like we shove it into the unconscious or unconscious mind, and we just kind of like keep shoving things in there, into the unconscious mind. And what happens? You think, well, that's shoving it into the unconscious mind. We don't have to deal with it, so it's okay, right? No, the unconscious mind controls our lives. It dictates our relationships. It is living unconscious or unconsciously. Everybody lives unconsciously, or everyone is controlled or ruled by the unconscious mind. That means the habitual mind, habitually. So everybody lives habitually, and this way of living is very dissatisfactory and very, how do you say, 괴롭다, yeah, unfulfilling, and just a very unhappy way of living. 그래서 우리는 이제 이렇게 감정을, 원치 않는 감정으로 도망가는, 평생 도망 다니고 있어요. 어떻게 도망 다니느냐, 어떻게 외면하느냐, 바쁘게 지내고, 심지어 명상 수업도 심지어 그런 도피하기 위해서 여기 오실 수도 있어요. 아니면 먹는 것과 하여튼 여러 가지 그렇게 평생 이렇게 도망 다니는 거예요. 이렇게 원치 않는 그 감정이나 이런 것을 이제 무의식 속으로 집어넣는 거예요. 그럼 이제 그 근본 문제는 해결되지 않죠. 일시적으로는 해결된 것 같고, 또 아니면 이제 머릿속에 없기 때문에 마치 이제 괜찮은 것 같지만 그렇지 않아요. 무의식이 우리의 삶을 지배하거든요. 그래서 무의식적으로 산다는 거예요. 우리는 무의식적으로 우리가 사람 만나고 사귀고 어디 가고 이렇게 한다는 거예요. 근데 그렇게 사는 삶이 굉장히 불만족스럽고 괴롭다는 거예요. 그래서 so what is our task? Our task is to bring the unconscious into the conscious. And then when you bring the unconscious into the conscious, then what happens? Then the unconscious operation becomes weaker or cannot operate anymore. And this unconscious is purified. So Buddha, or is someone who doesn't have an unconscious. It doesn't have, everything is conscious. 그럼 우리가 할 수행은 그 무의식을 의식으로 가져오는 거예요. 그럼 그 작동이 느려지거나 아니면 약해지거나 아니면 작동이 정화가 돼요. 그럼 더 이상 그 작동이 우리 그 작동으로 지배받지 않아요. 이제 그럼 다 무의식 속에 있는 건 다 드러냈을 때 그럼 이제 부처님이 되는 거예요. 그게 성불이에요. 그게 해탈이에요. 부처님은 무의식이 없어요. 다 의식 속에 있어요. 그게 부처님이에요. 우리는 숨어 있는 게 너무 많은 거예요. So we have so many things that are hidden to us, that are unseen to us. We have so many. We don't know who we are. I mean, on a relative level. So we don't know who we are on an ultimate level, and we don't know who we are on a relative level. That means there's two sense of who we are. Ultimate sense, that is the Buddha, that is the pure being, compassionate, loving, wise. And then there's the relative self, that is your ego, your unconscious operation. So to get to know the ultimate self, you have to reveal the relative self, the ego, and by so doing, you get to know the ultimate self. 우리의 자신이 두 가지가 종류가 있어요. 궁극적인 나, 그거는 이제 부처님, 아, 그리고 상대적인 나, 그거는 이제 에고. 그것을 이제 근데 궁극적인 나로 가는 길이 바로 상대적인 나라는 거예요. 그것을 드러나게 해야지, 에고를 드러나게 해야지, 작동을 드러나게 해야지, 숨어 있는 작동을 드러나게 해야지 이제 정화가 된다는 거예요. So the main thing is we don't know who we are, we don't know our faults, we don't know how we are. So to make them manifest, that is the practice. 우리가 어떤지 모르는 거예요. 우리의 허물을 모르는 거예요. 예. 그래서 돌아가면서 남의 허물을 조금씩 하나씩 말해볼까요? 우리 그거 잘하잖아. 우리가 너무 잘하고 있잖아요, 그거. So we'll go around the room and we'll point out fault of each other. That way we can know our own faults. And we're very good at that. We're very good at pointing out the faults of others, aren't we? Yeah. But we shouldn't do that actually. Yeah, because that's the one of the main causes of suffering is pointing out the faults of others and being critical, and yet we're completely unaware of our own faults. And our concern should be with our own faults and not the faults of others. 남의 허물은 이제 생각도 말도 하지 말아야 돼요. 우리는 제대로 그 허물을 볼 수도 있는 것도 아니고, 그리고 우리의 관심은 자기 허물이에요. 자기 허물. 남의 허물을 이렇게 따지고 막 말하는 게 이제 아주 큰 행복의 큰 장애예요. So to get to know who we are, to get to know our faults, to get to know our hidden faults, to get to know how we are. And that's kind of all hidden to us, you know. We don't know how we are. We don't know who we are. I mean, we don't know how we are. And so getting to know that, and getting to know the way that our mind is working underground, and then in that way we get to know who our true nature is, which is the Buddha, which is the infinite love, and that's that's what meditation is. Meditation is, you could say meditation is two things: becoming free from this kind of ego, which is basically thoughts, and then getting to know our true self, which is Buddha. 명상은 이거요. 우리의 그 에고로부터 자유로워지는 거. 에고로부터 자유로워진다는 것은 생각으로부터 자유로워지는 거. 생각으로부터 자유로워진다는 것은 생각을 알아차리는 것을 의미하는 거예요. 뭔 생각하고 있는지 아는 거. 그리고 참본성을 알게 되는 거. 부처님을, 내면의 부처님을 알게 되는 것이라고 할 수 있어요. 그래요. 오늘 여기서 영어 명상 첫 수업을 여기서 마치고, 오늘은 이제 질의응답 시간을 못 가졌네요. 다음에는 이제 질의응답 시간도 갖도록 하고, so we'll end our first meditation class here. We'll put this on YouTube so you can review it if you want at home, what we learned today, because we'll forget, so it's important to review. 오늘 이제 배운 내용을 그러니까 보고 이렇게 그 반복 보는 게 중요해요. 그 이유는 우리 유튜브 채널 조회수를 이렇게 올리기 위해서. 예. 오케이. 그래서 이제 반복 보는 것이 이제 그게 아니고요. 그러니까 까먹어요. 그래서 반복 보면 이게 이렇게 잘 남거든요. So so this end of our first class, and we weren't able to have some questions today, but next time we'll have also question and answer period. And so we didn't learn how to meditate today, but we'll learn slowly, and please have some patience, and how to meditate. And then just wanted to tell you, today is what is meditation and why we should meditate. The most important thing in our life is to learn about the mind, learn about meditation is basically, it's about how the mind works and how to make the mind happy. So it's the most kind of important thing to learn, I think, and it's the most helpful thing to learn. Um, so I hope this will bring some interest to you to yeah to continue to learn about meditation.